All right, guys. So I'm super excited to make this video, and I'm gonna keep it short to help people download like shorter videos. I do believe I have found the cure for women with ulcerative colitis, and it all came from maybe 5 years ago. I had spoken with a pregnant woman who told me she had had ulcerative colitis, and she would get ulcers, but then not when she was pregnant. And it led to research, obviously a big research nerd, so found all this stuff that for sure the body's gonna like favor the baby during pregnancy and your autoimmune condition stays in check. My other research is bringing in understandings of like our viral load, because this could be the common denominator, and doctors aren't going to want to talk about that because there's no like cure for that. I think what they're going to pull out of Magic Hat is some type of expensive gene therapy where they say, oh, look, this MTHR gene or this BRAC, whatever, these genes that are affiliated with cancers or whatever diseases. If you have $50,000 to $100,000, we can help you avoid the potential for this disease by taking this gene out, and you could very well still get the disease. Just like I believe when people get their colon out, if you get a colectomy because of the ulcers in the colon, I knew somebody who had the colectomy, had the bag, and the ulcers just moved right up to the small intestine. So it's not the intestines that's the disease. It's like that's just where the disease is manifesting. Okay, so with all that in mind, and also understand when you're thinking about your viral load, that has the potential to go into dormancy and not be a thing. When it comes out of dormancy, say if you're under stress, a lot of cortisol in the blood, cortisol will feed viruses in dormancy, bring them out, and then I think that's what's triggering the autoimmune condition. So the body doesn't recognize the viral activity, right? It starts attacking itself. So, okay, this led me to a whole bunch of medications where I was trying to address all of this. I guess the viral load through diet. I started taking a Zoloft to address neurotransmitter imbalances, and I started taking a progesterone only, POP, I think it's called, birth control pill that would trick my body into thinking it's pregnant. Okay, so this is what happened. What had happened was I went on all these drugs at the same time. Zoloft, the birth control is called Erin, ERRIN. Maybe at the time it was a different one, but it was still a POP birth control pill because I could not handle the estrogen stuff. That is scary. It changes your entire personality. And then I also got on Stellara, which is the medication for psoriasis and ulcerative colitis. Okay, I maintained these prescriptions till about October last year when it became hard to stay on schedule with my birth control. The refills were slow. I don't know what was going on. Like, I just said, screw it. I said, let's see what happens. So I got off of that, stayed on Zoloft, stayed on Stellara. I got ulcers about 2 weeks ago for the first time in 4 years. My history is every year, like annually getting blood transfusions. So finally, for 4 years, I've been able to avoid the hospital. I haven't been sick at all. At all. I never had COVID, nothing. And I'm on Stellara, which knocks out my immune system. I should be getting stuff left and right, right? I didn't for 4 years. I got these ulcers and I realized, okay, so it's been about 6 months, which a pharmacist had explained maybe this was the birth control kind of leaving my body, the body kind of realizing it isn't pregnant, whatever. So the pill's losing its efficacy or its trick to trick my body into thinking it's pregnant. So then I started ulcerating. And I was at the end of the 8 weeks of Stellara. I really needed to get it in quickly and get that in my body. I talked to a pharmacist. That wasn't possible, to get in early. And I threw it out there that I think I started flaring because Stellara lost its efficacy in conjunction with the birth control, because that was the common denominator I removed, right? I had gotten off of it. And she was like, yeah, that makes sense. And I said, so what's going to happen? Does this mean Stellara isn't working, isn't a thing? And I'm just injecting God knows what every 8 weeks? And she says, I don't know. I know the birth control works with it and, for women. So it all makes sense that your flares would come back after the birth control leaves your system. But the doctor is going to end up increasing my stellara dose and making it every 6 weeks that I have to inject myself, because that's going to be the assumption that the 8 week dose in the smaller, whatever, 90 milligrams lost its efficacy. And so now it just double up or whatever. But look, I got back on the birth control. Flare has completely disappeared. I am not bleeding anymore. I wanted to do this video without makeup so you can see I'm not anemic at all. Like, I was bleeding pretty scared. It terrified me to think that I would be back in the hospital next month. And I immediately got on all these sites to find, unvaccinated blood donations because. So yeah, I was really scared. I thought maybe I would have to leave the country, and started taking the pills. And literally 2 weeks in, that shit kicked in. No bleeding. Poops are good, man. Poops are fucking good again. There is nothing like a well-formed poop with no blood. So, women, if you can try this, God, I would love to know if this is the cure for your body and you're ulcerating and you're going through this and you're like, what am I going to do? Holy hell, I really feel like this just cured that right up, guys. And I'm back to my old shenanigans. I can leave the house whenever I want, can eat whatever I want. I am just not drinking alcohol and caffeine just to kind of be chill about stuff. Give my liver and adrenals a break. But anyways, namaste. Just kidding. Okay, bye.